Welcome to another episode of the Cycle Podcast, the show where we cover 4 trending MLB topics in 20 minutes or less. Joining me as always, Josh, a.k.a. Kablumski. How you doing today, brother? You ready to talk some ball?
Let's do it, brother. You already know what time it is. Let's get after it.
Absolutely. Our first topic today is going to be Cal Raleigh Appreciation. We've got 2 guys on this show who love Cal Raleigh, and what he's doing this year is beyond incredible. So I actually watched a video today talking about his stat line so far. He's at 32 home runs, on pace for 67 home runs for the season. Keep in mind the record for a single season for a catcher, primary catcher that is 48 home runs set by Salvador Perez in 2021. Raleigh is going to. I love Salv. We know Salvi fans in the house, but he's going to smash that record. I wouldn't be surprised if he blasts past that by like August 10th at the pace he's on. Keep in mind, he has 18 games until the All-Star break. Bonds, the season he hit 72, was at 39 at the All-Star break. So if Raleigh can hit 7 home runs in the next 18 games, he will be at the Barry Bonds record-breaking pace. And my question for you is, when do we start the countdown? I think he will probably surpass Aaron Judge's 62 to set the single-season American League record. When do we start talking about tracking that? Like, when do I put something behind me here? Cal Raleigh home run tracker. Is it an overreaction to think that that's within reach for him?
No, not a chance. And to answer your question, soon. I'm saying after All-Star break soon. I don't think before All-Star break or anything like that yet. The fact that we're talking about it, though, first of all, is amazing in itself for many reasons. But a catcher, first of all, right? But if he gets to 62, that's more than enough, more than what we were expecting. So I'm saying his magic number is around 50, 52, to be honest with you. I think that he's on a tear right now. And unfortunately, just being a catcher that wears down. Now Seattle is managing his minutes, quote unquote, so to speak, as far as his playing time behind the plate. But and I think that benefits him in the long run, which is smart on the Seattle's behalf. But I don't think that it breaks down in that level.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that most guys go through a little dip in August, pick it back up in September, because the baseball season is so aggressively long, and he hasn't really gone on a cold stretch yet. He's had 2-3 game stretches where he struggled, so to speak, but he hasn't gone through a down month like a lot of guys have. And to your point, I think Seattle's taken that gamble. I think they've DH'd him like 17 times so far this season.
Right.
And it is affecting their pitching staff. You see Seattle's pitching staff is not where it was last year, whereas that vaunted top of the league staff. And I wonder how much that has to do with Raleigh being DH instead of behind the plate, because we know he's a great game manager. And yeah, I would say a lot. But the offensive production they're getting out of him is beyond what you'd expect from any catcher. And I think it does warrant trying to keep him in the lineup more often. We saw in Kansas City times where Salvador Perez would slow down at the end of the season because he's catching every day. Yadier Molina, seasons where he'd catch like 158 games in the year. It's too much, especially if he's a different breed. But you do want to stretch out the career of Cal Raleigh, and it starts now. DH him, maybe in the future, move him to a first base and DH. We'll see where that goes. But what he's doing right now at 69 RBIs, keep in mind the record, I believe, is 145 set by Johnny Bench.
Insane.
He's in striking distance of that. If you round 69 up to 70, just under halfway through the season, he could do it. Give him like a Sosa 1999 June month where he just goes absolutely insane. I think he could be there. And I think around late August, we start talking about not only the catcher record, but the American League record. And is this a guy who, in his career, could catch Johnny Bench for some of those super, super out of this world catcher power and RBI numbers? I don't think it's unreasonable to be talking about that for his career at this point. But with that, we'll move on to a few other players we've got to talk about in our Who's Hot segment. Moving on to Who's Hot, I've got the Bugatti in a trailer park, Byron Buxton. And if you haven't seen that meme, it's kind of a beat down trailer park home with a Bugatti Veyron parked in the driveway. And on the Minnesota Twins this year, I feel like that's what Byron Buxton is in this stretch I'm talking about here. He has hit 7 home runs, scored 9 runs, 9 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. I think he's hitting like 360 with like an 850 slugging percentage. The Twins are 1-9. So all that production they're getting out of Byron Buxton, who by the way is like never healthy and finally is putting together a season that's like, what could Byron Buxton do in a full season? We're starting to see that. And the Twins have just kind of sat this one out. I think they're just so used to playing without him that they're stunned when he's healthy for this long and they don't know what to do with themselves. I don't know, but it's frankly unacceptable. I'm not a Buxton fan per se because I'm in the AL Central. My Royals play them so often and he has killed us in the past. But you've got a feel for the guy who this should be a possible playoff year for the Twins. And they have putted it away here in the last month or so. It's very disappointing. So I'm going to go over to you. You've got pitchers today. We don't show the pitchers enough love in this segment.
I'm feeling the love as a battery mate, as a catcher. We talked about Kyle Raleigh, the big dumper, as a fellow catcher. We're showing him his flowers. So we got to keep the momentum of that 1-2 punch, going. So I got to give a shout out to my 2 top pitchers. And it's kind of chalky when you talk about Tarek Skubal and Max Fried. Not so much Max Fried, but Tarek Skubal for sure. Just real quick, the last 13 starts for Skubal, his ERA is 1.58. He's 8-0, and then as far as decisions in that time stretch, Fried is leading the league as far as complete the season with a 2.05 ERA. These guys are on a tear. What I like about this is the X factors of what they're producing and what they're giving their team and their organization. When you talk about not the numbers that you see in a box score, you're talking about Fried that is keeping the Yankees alive. And yes, I am saying that because my Rays are in striking distance, ladies and gentlemen, and they are for real. But that's a different topic for a different time. But what I'm saying is that he's anchoring that pitching staff that doesn't have really much behind him. So when he goes out there, he has that the mentality of, hey, it's me against the world type deal. I'm putting my team on the back, and he is delivering. Same with Tarek. At the beginning of the year, we were not talking about the Detroit Tigers in a sense that we are today. Like these
Possibly
guys
the best team in the American League.
These guys are for real. You know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, okay, we'll see when the flame fizzles out. It's like, no, they're going to be buying, they're going to be powering up, and they're going to get going. They're a complete team. And again, I always talk about the big time players living up to that role, that being the face of the organization, being there when the time is needed. And these 2 guys have been that and more, and what they're delivering for their franchise and their organization.
And with Fried, I mean, when they brought him in, he's supposed to be the number 2 guy behind Cole. And I think we've talked about this before. He stepped right up. Cole goes down. Max Fried says, I'm the guy. I got it. I'm the ace. And he's delivered on that. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's a Cy Young candidate, right up there with the Hunter Browns and Scoobles. And I am beyond impressed. I have my fantasy team, so that is, I've been paying attention. But I mean, the Yankees. Yeah, go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
The thing about it is too, like you just mentioned, he's been in that Cy Young talks, and the Yankees paid for him, and he has been that and more. Another thing is pitching at Yankee Stadium, as you know, I've always talked about it. It's a high school field, so it's not the best pitcher friendly field there. And for him to have that ERA where it sits, him dominating when the time comes at home in front of the home crowd at that high school field, it says something on what he's doing.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I hate Scooble. The Royals tend to hit him pretty well, but you got to give the guy the respect. He's going to win the Cy Young in the AL again, and then we're talking how many in his career? 5, maybe 6. He seems, for a guy who throws as hard as he does with the spin rate he throws at, you're shocked he hasn't had any arm fatigue problems. But there are guys like Clemens, there are guys like Pedro Martinez, there's guys like Nolan Ryan who just never have that. And maybe Skubal's another one of those, like you said, a unicorn. Extremely impressive on both of those guys. I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Let's go ahead and move on to a super fun topic I'm excited about, and I'll tell you why here in a moment. Our third topic today is going to be brainstorming some Paul Skenes trade packages. And as you can see, I went with the Skenes mustache just for this segment. So goodbye to the beard temporarily. I thought it would bring me good luck. Go a little Skenes stash this week. I got the bachelor party coming up. Wanted to have the stash for it. But I think my idea for this trade is not going to be popular. And it's stupid to bring it up because the Pirates probably shouldn't trade Skenes. Just based on conventional wisdom, nobody's coming to the ballpark if Skenes isn't there. They're going to shop O'Neal Cruz as well, by the way. Just keep that in mind.
I can see that happening.
Skenes is under control for a period, 5 more years.
Right.
However, after the 26 season, he's pre-arbitration, meaning they've got to get an extension done by the end of the 26 season, or in 2027 he hits arbitration. Keep in mind, arbitration it's a mediation session. The team comes up with a number for that year. Here's what we were willing to pay this player. The player comes up with a number for himself. The two sides sit down, deliver their pitches. The mediator cannot tell them to meet in the middle. The mediator has to pick the team's number or the player's number. Now, he's going to have 2 Cy Youngs under his belt by the time he sits down at that table. He's going to have 3 All-Star appearances by the time he sits down at that table. He's going to have MVP votes by the time he sits down at that table. I would ask for $30 million. He won't because it's much. But what are the Pirates going to offer him? Pirates are going to offer him like $15 and a bag of peanuts because they hate spending money. They cannot afford to keep Paul Skenes long-term. I mean, obviously, they're a professional baseball team. They can, but they're not going to because they're cheapskates and they don't care about winning. No offense to Pirates fans. The best thing they can do now is trade him and get some enormous haul of prospects that they can trot out there for a few years and then trade them as well. And the team I like for a trade package is the Tigers. Give them Max Clark. Give them Jackson Jobe. Give them Casey Mize. Obviously, throw in a few other players and cash considerations, but revolve it around Max Clark and Jackson Jobe. The Tigers would go into the playoffs. Imagine a 5-game series where, as the opponent, you've got to face Skubal, Skenes, Jack Flaherty, and then one game maybe with Reese Olson in there. A 7-game series, you're looking at Skenes, Skubal, you're looking at Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, or Reese Olson, and then right back to Skenes and Skubal. I mean, since the Justin Verlander, David Price, Max Scherzer days in Detroit, also in Detroit, when have we seen a rotation that could throw that kind of power out there in a playoff series? Warren, the Spawn Insane days back before color television.
Right.
It would be an insane rotation to throw out there. And at that point, you've got to score, 3 runs a game to win the World Series? Because you're getting 2 starts out of Skubal and Skenes, and they give up, 2 runs a game? Maybe, if the opponent is lucky. But you've got another one, and I think this may bring our producer Alex some joy when he edits this. So go ahead with your package.
Shout out to Alex, man. Anytime I get a chance to shout out Alex, man, and all his hard work, I'm going to take that and use that in my platform. So shout out to you, Alex. I'm sorry that, the sports world hasn't been the greatest to you the past couple of weeks, but, man, honestly, Boston Red Sox. Throw in Roman Anthony in there, Christian Campbell, who just got brought down and got option down, and then throw Meyer in there as well. My thing is that you have to package a future. If you're giving away a future Hall of Famer, you have to get something back, guys. This is not something that we have to. Um, it's a business move. God, that's so terrible as a fan to you know what I mean as a fan to an organization or whatnot. Somebody who's following your that's something that's not giving you that motivation to be like, let's go team. No, so these guys got to come in here, and you're talking about the likes of Crochet over there, Bello, Walker
Cutter
Bueller,
Crawford, yeah, they've got. I mean, they've got the pieces on that rotation.
but and guys, 6.5 games. They're 6.5 games behind the Yankees right now. They sneak in, to a wild card game in there with the Rays. That's something that could be dangerous. I mean, I hate to say this too. An Alex Cora led team in a time like that, it could go a long way. But back to Skenes can be a big piece of that move. Boston's not scared to pay big time players. They love big time names. They love big time arms, and they're going to pay for it. So I think that that's more realistic. And if that's so, I hate to see it in my division, but I love the fact that we would get to see him often.
Yeah, and I mean, if there was even a rumor that Skenes was available, it would be a bidding war unlike we've ever seen. I
Oh
don't think.
gosh.
I mean, the Alex Rodriguez free agency when half the league was trying to get their hands on him, it would be like that. I think every single team who has even a fighting chance of making the playoffs would call about him. I would hope the Royals would call about him. We won't, but it would be the biggest move in recent baseball memory, and it would change the landscape of the entire league for the next decade. So here's to hoping get him out of
Right.
Pittsburgh.
So
The stadium is too good. Their history is too good to be running this team into the ground. Get him out of there. You don't deserve him.
come to Tampa.
Our fourth and final topic is one that I know is going to crush your soul to talk about. And despite you being one of my closest friends, despite me respecting your fandom, I have been talking about this for a long time. The Rays either need to go all in on a new stadium or they need to move. So we've got a situation here where the Rays ownership is going to be trading hands. $1.7 billion. If I had $1.7 billion laying around, I would buy the Rays. They're a team who all the pieces are there, the foundation of their player development, their foundation of quality players that have been called up in recent years are there. This is a team who realistically should be in World Series contention within the next few years. So what I've heard is Orlando or Jacksonville for relocation.
Right.
We were talking off the podcast, which I'm going to let you inform the fans about. I didn't know this, that the Rays were fairly close to getting a deal on a new stadium done, despite being locked into that Tropicana Field lease through 2028. The last time the Rays talked about relocating, Tropicana Field in the city of St. Petersburg was asking $250 million to release them from that lease. Now, with Hurricane Milton ripping the roof off the stadium, damaging a good amount of the interior, I don't know if they're on schedule to be playing games in there in 2026, but if they're not on schedule, all of a sudden you've made that lease agreement much cheaper to get out of. So I'll turn this over to you. It's your team, so rest of the topic is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. No, honestly, though, this kind of is tough to talk about, but it's reality, right? At the end of the day, it's reality, and it's a reality that it could have been prevented, so to speak, in multiple aspects of this. It could have been prevented when you live in Florida. You're going to have hurricanes. That's number one thing. People that move into Florida, that's number one thing you got to understand. You're going to get a hurricane. So why not have a good hurricane policy? That's for the Tropicana Field itself. Now let's talk about when they were preparing and doing what organizations do, preparing for the future. Okay, when this lease is up, what's our next plan? They were planning to bring it over to Tampa. Tampa had a great a platform, a great area location wise, was good. It was centrally
Was it
located where you can
Ybor City area?
Ybor City, the port next to the IKEA area, right there where the port's at. Beautiful views. You're talking about, a sunset, retractable roof, the whole nine. And mind you, the person that bought this parcel and bought this land, it wasn't like he was saying, "Hey, I'm only buying this for a stadium for the Rays." It's like, "Hey, no, listen." I want to put a sports team in here. I know you guys need a place to come or pay. Just, this is what you guys have to work with, deal with it what you please type deal. It was something like that, right? Mixed words in there, but make the story short though, they said no, they didn't want to bring it to Tampa. Now fast forward, now they're putting the Tampa Bay Sun, who just won their league, I believe it was. I'm not too familiar with the soccer league. Yes, I'm
Football
sorry,
Americano.
soccer fans, but they just won, so they're a team to be reckoned with. So now they got an awesome setup that they're going to be having where the Rays Stadium was supposed to be. As far as Orlando and Jacksonville, I get the Jacksonville topic because the buyers are from Jacksonville. Obviously, I got ties in Jacksonville and stuff like that, which I'm okay with. It's just that, man, you're taking the team away from the city since '98. You're talking about the people that have been here, the prime age group around this area that has seen this team grow from St. Pete all the way up to, not even supposed to be in the World Series, going into the World Series. So we have that special tie here. And then everybody talks about the fact that the Tampa St. Pete rivalry. Listen, as Tampa, I'm always gonna ride for Tampa. But at the end of the day, I'm a realist. What they're doing down there in St. Pete is a great thing as far as bringing people there, tourism there, the downtown aspect, the lifestyle, the life, the nightlife, the whole nine. And it's like, it's 2025. Number one, you couldn't figure out a roof for your stadium. It's 2025. Technology is crazy now. So if you guys got money just to keep on putting into a bill to renovate the stadium, why not fix what we got now, or let's get moving? And if we're gonna get moving, why go so far? Let's keep it at least in state. I'd rather compromise than just completely shut them off and say, hey, if you leave, I'm not going to be a fan, because I feel like since '98, I've seen them grow from the bottom to the top, and I don't want to lose them as a fan, but man, just keep them close. But this could have been prevented on multiple levels.
And the team needs to be proactive about it, because if they can't get a deal done with Orlando or Jacksonville, they're going to end up in Nashville. They're going to end up somewhere. There's a lot of cities that want a team. Portland, Nashville.
Right.
But the issue I have with staying in St. Pete, one is St. Pete is not a sports town.
No, it's not.
A clubs, it's microbreweries, it's hipsters, live music.
Right.
Tampa supports the Lightning. Okay? Bucks support is a little shaky, but we know that if a team is putting a quality product on the field, fans in Tampa will go.
Oh yeah.
So I would love to see a new stadium within driving distance of myself and you down there in where you are. But Orlando is an intriguing option. You have Universal, you have Disney, you have UCF, you have the Magic. And I can see a scenario where baseball fans from the American League say, hey, let's go down on a Disney vacation and park on Saturday, baseball game Sunday, park on Monday. And I can see that bringing in a lot of tourism and a lot of new fans from the Orlando area, one of the fastest growing cities in the country, outside of Las Vegas and Nashville. So they need to get on top of it. They need to figure out what they're going to do, and they need to move on it. Unlike what they've done in the past, which is sort of sit on their hands despite options being there. So once again, sorry to hear about it. I hope whatever happens, you can at least stomach. It doesn't turn your whole world upside down. But with that, we are way out of time. So let's go ahead, sign off. As always, leave a comment, give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss an episode. Josh, I'll let you send us home.
Yeah, man. Everybody from our local audience out there, let's talk about this whole Rays organization moving and stuff like that. If you are a true Rays fan or just somebody that supports that organization, let's talk about it. Let's make some noise about it so we can keep them home or keep them around town. So, thanks again for the support. Thanks for being a part of this what we got going on here, and thanks for having me, John. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Appreciate you.
We'll see you next time. Peace.